Hi guys, previously we learned how to measure for a trouser. Today we'll be learning how to cut the trouser exactly as you can see in my video. See how neat this trouser looks. So we are going to learn how to cut it. So guys, these are the measurements we are using for our trouser cutting. And on these calculations, there is no allowance added. Please note, there is no allowance added. Our waist and our hip is divided by 4. Our knee, ankle, and lap is divided by 2. The first measurement we are going to be taking is our length measurements, which is your clutch first. From the down of your pattern paper, you mark it upward 31 plus 2-inch allowance, which is 33. That is what I'm marking right now. Make sure you are marking it so that you can be able to give a straight line. So after doing that, you just use your ruler to connect your lines together, which is what I'm about to do right now. So you can see I'm connecting the line. So after that, the next measurement I'm going to take is my flap. I'm going to take it from that line we just marked. I'm going to mark the flap, which is 11 inches. So I'm going to mark it upward. Just the same way you mark your clutch, you are also going to mark your flap. Your clutch and your flap total is going to give you your full length. So that is why we didn't take a full length of the person. This total is giving us the full length already. So now we are going to start with the upper part of our drafting, which is from our clutch line to our waistline, which is where we marked our flap. So now we are going to take our lap measurement. Our lap measurement is 26, which when we divided we got 13. So is that 13 we are marking now on our clutch line? Yeah. So the next thing we are going to mark is our hip line measurement, which is 9 inches. Our hip line for me is 9 inches, so that's what I just marked so that I can be able to place my hip. So now that I've done that, I will now take my hip measurement on that line. So my hip measurement here is 10 inch, which is what we've already divided. So now that 10 inch you marked on your hip, you are going to also mark it on your flap line, which is now our waistline. That's the point where you marked your flap is now our waistline. So we are going to mark that 10 inch up there. Yeah, make sure it's 10. Make sure your markings are accurate. So now that we've marked it, the next thing we are going to do is to connect the line. It's going to give us a straight line. That is the point of our waist and our hip. We're going to connect it together. So guys, now we have connected it. The next thing we are going to do now is to bring our curve ruler. Then from the point of our lap to our hip, we are going to curve it together. So but before we will do that, we are going to mark out ½ inch on our hip line, just ½ inch. Yeah, we're going to mark it like that, then you can now connect. So what you are connecting now is from your lap point to that ½ inch you marked to where your hip line is. Connect everything together. So now we have connected it, as you can see. So the next thing we are going to do now is to mark our waist measurement, and instead of coming from the inside to the outside. We're coming from the outside to the inside, and our waist measurement here is 7.5, 7.5 inch. So plus half inch also, just the same way we added half inch to our hip, we're also adding half inch. So then from there we're now going to connect it straight to our hip using our curve ruler also. As you can see what I'm doing, make sure you're using your curve properly, then you connect. You can see that this is now giving the form of a hip. You can see that we have done the upper part of this now, so we can now move over to the down part of this drafting, which is to draft from our lap to our ankle. So guys, we know that our new length is 22, and remember that from your flap to your lap is already 11, so just mark the rest to complete it, the 22-inch length, just as I'm doing. Then after connecting your lines, the next thing we are going to do is to find the midpoint of our lap measurements. Yeah, the midpoint of our lap. Remember, our lap is 13, so the midpoint is at 6.5. So we are just going to mark that on our lap. Do the same thing also on our new length and also on our ankle. The same midpoint of 6.5, we are going to mark it. So now that we have marked it, the next thing we are going to do is to connect our lines together. Connect the lines together. So guys, now that we've done this, we can now take our new measurement. Note that after dividing our new measurement, which was 17 into 2, we got 8 half and quarter. So that means what we are looking for now is the midpoint of this 8 half and quarter, so that by the time you place it, you'll be having equal parts from the center. So that means we are having 4 and quarter 0.1 on each side, which will now give you a total of 8. The same thing we are also going to do on our ankle. Our ankle is 13, which we divided into 2 to get 6.5. So that 6.5, we are also looking for a midpoint for it, which is also 3 and quarter. So now we have done this, we have marked out everything. We will now connect all our points together. So let's connect. Okay guys, you can see that we have now connected this. And we have gotten our front pattern for our trousers. It's that easy. We are done with the front pattern for our trousers. So all we have to do now is to cut out. We are just going to cut out, and after cutting out, we will move over to the pattern for the back. So guys, now that we are done cutting out, this is the pattern we are using for our back. We'll just place the front pattern on it, pin it down. After pinning all sides down so that it will be stable, we'll now do our drafting. So guys, we are done pinning, and the next thing we are going to do now is to start marking. So starting from the up, just like we did for the front parts, we are going to mark out 2.5 inch on the upper part of this. Yes, 2.5 inch is what we are using there. Mark it out. The same thing we are also going to mark on the hip part, 2.5 inch also on the hip part. Yes, so that we also have that same straight line we had when drafting the front. Yes, then on the lap line, which is our clutch line, we are also going to mark 3 inches on that point. Yes, 3 inches. Now that we've done that, we are now going to connect the lines. Yes, we are going to connect the lines together, first starting with the upper part of this. The lap point is a straight line, then you connect also the line between the waist and the hip. Yeah, so after connecting that, you will connect also your waistline. That points are actually equal and necessary for you to note. Now the next thing we are going to do is to do the curving. Yeah, the way we did the front curve, we are doing the back curve also. So guys, now that we've curved that, we will now do our upper part of our back. Yeah, the part where when you sit, your trousers won't be going down or showing your butt. So on this part, I'm going to be going up by 2 inch. The reason why I'm going up by 2 inch is because I'm not a slim person and I'm not fat. If it's someone that is like maybe a size 6, you use maybe a 1.5 inch. Like a size 8 to size 12, you use a 2 inch. Then upward, you can use a 3 inch upward. Then you now slant your measurement, just like I did there. So now we are done with the upper part of this. We can now move over to the lower part. You can see how it's coming out. Yeah, just take it one step at a time. Now we can now move over to the lower parts of this. In between our lap and our knee, we are going to be going out by 2.5 inch measurement. Yes, 2.5 inch on that part. Mark it. So now that we've marked it, from the nail, that's on the nail part, we are coming out by 2 inch. So now we've marked all that, and the next thing we are doing is to also connect the lines together. Make sure you are connecting properly. connect your lines properly. Okay guys, we are almost done. Yeah, we are done actually. The only thing we have to do now is to cut out. Yeah, you can see how it looks, the front pattern and the back pattern. This is it. You have seen that the reason we didn't add allowance to the front pattern is because all the allowances goes to the back pattern on this method of trouser cutting. Please guys, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe, give a like and comment on my videos. Support me and I'll really appreciate that. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell